It's the eCommerce Master Plan podcast. Here to help you solve your marketing problems and grow your e-commerce business. Cutting through the hype to bring you inspiration and advice from the e-commerce sector and beyond. Here's your host, Chloe Thomas.
Hello and welcome. It's great to have you here. Thank you for tuning in. Now, I'm hoping this episode, something a little different from our normal, will attract some new listeners. So I'm going to kick off with a little reminder of who we are and what we do here on the eCommerce Master Plan podcast. Don't worry, I'll be quick, I promise. So we put out a new episode every Monday. Most of the time, it's an inspiring chat between me and the founder or other senior person at a cool, interesting e-commerce brand. So that might be a bricks and clicks business, they might be D2C, they might be huge, or they might be a little startup. All our guests, as of December, are both interested in building a successful business and creating a business that helps save us all from climate change. So that's us. Interesting chats to inspire and help you to make your business more successful and more sustainable. Now, as I said, that's been our focus since December. And so far, in helping you get on the path to net zero and becoming a more sustainable business, we've been focused almost exclusively on sharing inspiring stories of those brands who are already on the journey. In this episode, we're going to get a little more practical. Along with a few special guests, I'm going to outline 10 simple ways you can make your business more sustainable. Each of the tips I'm going to share does at least one of the following: reduces the carbon footprint of your business, encourages consumers to make their purchases more sustainable, or makes it easy for you to shout about what you're doing in order to attract more customers and to inspire other people to do what you're doing too. All of these are really easy first steps. So whether you can't work out where to start or you're looking to do more, this episode is going to give you 10 easy ways to make your next move, 10 easy steps that will make your business better. I have numbered them 1 to 10, but there's no grading in this numbering. Number 1 isn't better or easier than number 4. It's just a way to keep track of them all. Work out which one is going to be best for your business. Don't feel like you need to start at number 1 is what I'm saying here. Now, rather than keep reading out all the URLs of all the different things I'm mentioning during this episode, we've put all the links and summarised the tips on our show notes page. That's the page on our website all about this episode. You can access that directly by going to ecmp.info/379. So that's ECMP standing for e-commerce master plan.info/379, which is the number of this episode. I'm going to bring you number 1 of our 10 easy tips in a moment. But before we get to that, the only reason I can create in-depth episodes like this, and these take a lot of time to put together, the only reason I can do it is because this podcast is funded by our sponsors. So please enjoy their advert and I'll be with you for the first tip on the other side.
I am Alexandra, Director of Customer Experience for Princess Polly. I'm focused on our strategy and innovation in the CX department here at Princess Polly. I have a quote, and I always tell our CX leaders that customer experience is the heart of an organization, and we pump the blood and deliver the oxygen to the vital organs in the business to help them thrive and grow stronger. The Gorgeous platform allows our agents a seamless place to just do it all. We are really there for the customer every step of the way if they want. Our customers expect quality and efficiency where they are. So the real question is, how do you get quality and efficiency across every single platform? And then once you have it, how do you maintain it? And I believe that with the Gorgeous platform, we can do that. If you're interested in learning more about Gorgeous, go to gorgeous.com and mention podcast for 2 months free.
Okay, number 1. A number of the tips I'm going to be sharing with you today are apps that can easily be installed in your website. So we're going to start with one of those, and this one is Ecology. Ecology is an offsetting marketplace. What that means is that they do all the hard work of finding the best tree planting and offsetting projects in the world and make it super easy for us to offset things or plant trees. We're using them here at eCommerce Master Plan. We're using them in 3 different ways. Firstly, we've created our carbon neutral workforce. So for just £5.20 per employee per month, my whole team is carbon neutral, which is kind of cool. And we've done it for both our key freelancers and our bookkeeper and me. So we're doing 4 employees per month. Secondly, we're planting a tree for every new email sign up. Now, at the moment, I'm doing that manually. So at the end of each month, I'm counting I've got tech counting how many email signups we get. Then I'm buying that number of trees. But we will soon have, as she says, we'll see how soon I manage to do it. We will soon be setting up a Zapier integration to automatically do that. So, for example, in February, we spent £10.79 for our 87 email signups during February. And yes, I need to get more email signups. 1, because I want to plant more trees, and 2, because I want to bring this to more of you. So yes, I am aiming for more than 87 a month. Interestingly, knowing I'm planting a tree makes me more motivated to increase it, which is kind of crazy because it's now costing me money. But anyway, there we go. And thirdly, I'm offsetting 1 ton of carbon for every podcast episode we put out, which I'm pretty confident makes both the production process and every listen to each episode carbon neutral, so you can listen without guilt. In February, that was £52 for 8 episodes, 4 for this podcast and 4 for our sister podcast, Keep Optimizing. So it's not costing us a lot to offset our activity. So far, doing all of that, we have, to give you an idea of what sort of projects get involved in this, we have funded diverse projects all over the world, including improving train systems and hydropower in India, wind power in Vietnam and Thailand. We've preserved rainforest in Brazil, and we've planted new forests across Africa. Now, I don't have to worry about working out which of those we should be putting the money into. I just buy carbon offsetting, or I buy trees, and ecology allocates the money and then just tells me what I've spent it on. Super easy. Not too many decisions to be made. So if you're running an e-commerce store, which obviously is quite different from my business, there are 3 ways I'd test out using ecology in my business. Obviously, I would also look at the carbon neutral workforce, but that's not necessarily on the kind of the marketing side. So 3 ways I would go about doing this. First of all, I would test planting a tree for every order placed. Does it improve conversion rates? Is it something you can put in your abandoned basket emails rather than a discount to encourage someone to check out? Worth testing. Secondly, test planting a tree for every email sign up. Does it improve sign up rates? Thirdly, use it for a campaign. For example, you have just got all your SMS marketing set up, so you need SMS numbers from existing customers. So you email them all and say, if you give us your SMS number, we will plant a tree for each of you who does. That's just a couple of ideas. I'm sure you guys have got loads more. Loads of clever stuff you can do with ecology to improve the marketing and to spread the word in an e-commerce store. Plus, ecology make it really easy to shout about what you're doing with lovely badges, widgets, and even a page you can share with everything you've achieved. You can see ours at ecology.com/e-commerce masterplan. They do have a Shopify app. And the other thing I need to say before we move on to number 2 is offsetting. I have heard some people say that offsetting is cheating on your path to net zero. I do not believe that, because part of the solution for the planet is not just to reduce the amount of carbon we're using, it's also to repair the earth for all the carbon we've already taken out of it. So to do that, we need to be protecting the trees we already have. We need to be moving over to other forms of energy, doing all the various hundreds of projects that ecology have identified around the world. So offsetting and knowing your offsetting is going in the right place is super easy when you're using a service like ecology. So our first one, number 1, is ecology. Number 2 is a tip. It is simply to reduce your company travel. That's it. That's number 2, reduce your company travel. Here's what we've done. We have banned flying. So unless someone wants to pay me a huge amount of money and massively invest in the offsetting of the carbon, you will not see me a long way from the UK for quite a while. We've also added offsetting costs as well as travel costs to any face-to-face meetings, whether it's the client or us paying for it. We are covering the offsetting of any travel that we do. I'm also avoiding travel unless it's the only way to make the meeting effective. So no, if you want me to meet you in a town for a coffee when we could do the same chat on Zoom, it isn't going to happen. And then we're also using public transport wherever possible. And if I had a team, I would be encouraging as little commuting as possible. My commute is a walk, so I can't make that much more carbon neutral or sustainable. So what should you do? Create a clear policy. Ask your team for what they want in that. This is not a do it and tell everyone they have to follow you. Work on it together, create a policy that works for the business and takes you to another level with your carbon situation. And this is the super cool thing about reducing carbon. It is almost certainly going to either reduce your costs as a business or help your employees push their wages further. So this is a no-brainer. It's a benefit for everybody. And once you've got the company travel policy improved, then you can start doing the difficult bit, which is looking at how your products travel to you and from you to the consumers. But this episode is about simple, easy ways to improve your carbon situation. So we're not going to dwell on that today. Number 3 is another plugin called EcoCart. So let's go to the checkout. Wouldn't it be cool if there was an app you could plug in that would calculate the carbon impact of each customer's order and give you or the customer the option to offset the carbon as checkout happens? Well, there is one. And here's Michael from EcoCart to explain all. Hi, Michael.
Hi, Chloe.
Thanks so much for sparing the time to come on and tell the audience about EcoCart. So what does EcoCart do?
Yeah, absolutely. Happy to be here. So EcoCart helps brands create sustainable shopping experiences online. How we do that is by actually looking at the carbon footprint of the shipping and manufacturing of a unique order that actually in real time will kind of calculate and either ask the customer or the brand can pay a little extra to make those orders carbon neutral. And we'll take that money and fund certified carbon offset projects like forestation, clean water initiatives. The brand actually gets to choose that project that they kind of work with and support to create their own sustainability story.
Nice. And why is it so awesome?
I'll say for 2 reasons. From the standpoint of if you're, adding EcoCart to your store and asking shoppers to check out, it's free. And so it really allows any brand, big or small, to kind of, help contribute and be a part of the fight against climate change, something that's only getting worse and worse. And as e-commerce is growing, it's becoming more a part of that story. So it's a way that any company can really contribute. But at the same time, there's a business impact behind sustainability and really helping, at EcoCart, we help brands go from 0 to 1 in creating that sustainability story, learning, how they can kind of make more of an impact by reducing their emissions, but creating that engaging and educational experience through the website to tell customers, what does it mean to be carbon neutral? Where is this money going? But also seeing increases in conversion rates, customer loyalty, and engagement.
Excellent. And anyone who wants to start on that first step and get doing it with you guys, how can they get hold of EcoCart for their site?
Yeah, so the 2 easiest ways if you are a Shopify or BigCommerce store, we have apps within those stores that you can go. Just search EcoCart and you can download and add them to your store and we'll follow up to help them install. If you're not, we are an API, so we can really integrate with any tech stack. So just go to www.ecocart.io and you can go through a contact us form and we'll follow up to walk you through kind of how we can help your brand create a more sustainable shopping experience online.
So there's a solution which doesn't have to cost your business anything and is just a great first step on the journey to improving your eco credentials. As I said, links to everything we're talking about today even are at ecmp.info/379. Number 4, what 3 words? One of the most wasteful things in e-commerce is failed deliveries. It annoys your customers and it means double the first mileage. The minimum, it means double the last mile, even mileage. What 3 words is an excellent solution to the problem and one you can now integrate into your checkout so that customers can pinpoint exactly where the delivery should be delivered. If you've not come across What 3 Words, I really do recommend going and having a look. It's such a clever tool. They divided the world into 3 meter squares and gave each one a 3-word name. For example, the room I lived in for my second year at university is froze flesh comic. So if you go to What 3 Words and you type in Froze Flesh comic, you will see where I lived when I was in my second year at university, which would have made meeting up with people at uni so much easier if we'd been able to pinpoint a 3-metre square space. It's now being heavily used by emergency services teams around the world to find people, and a mind-bogglingly large other list of things that it's being used for. It really is phenomenal, the uses people have found for the What 3 Words system. For us in e-commerce, their latest tech innovation is plugging into e-commerce checkouts and courier systems to increase first-time deliveries. It's being used by Metapack, Hermes in the UK, Shop and Ship in the Middle East, and many more e-commerce stores globally. And there are plugins for Shopify, WooCommerce, Magento, EcoCart, Aero, and CubeCart. So it's super easy to add your store too. This is going to bring you cost reduction, give you less work for customer services, create happier couriers, happier customers, and carbon reduction. It really is a win for everybody. So that's What 3 Words, number 4. Number 5, take a pledge. This has to be the easiest one in the whole list. Sustainability, net zero, all this stuff is a whole new ball game that we all need to start learning about fast. No one has the answers. Nobody yet knows how we are going to keep the planet human friendly. No one has the exact answer. So we're all on a learning curve. And that learning curve is going to be faster if we get together and if we make commitments. We can all do that by taking one of the many pledges that are out there so we can wear our hearts on our sleeves and show our commitment. Now, the other cool thing about pledges is this year we need to be upping our creative marketing game. We need better creative, we need better stories, we need to build more emotional connection with our customers. And taking these pledges gives us another emotional good news story to talk to them about. And generally you'll get some nice graphics, etc., and hashtags that you can become part of too. That shouldn't be your primary reason for doing it, but it's a really important thing to do to leverage this pledge and spread the word about it. Now, I am not suggesting taking every pledge going. I'm going to give you a couple of examples in a minute, but find one that resonates with you and what you're doing in your business. Do it for the company, get on board, show your support. So, 3 ideas for you. First off, Fashion Declares, an amazing movement training body pledge scheme. They're a bit of everything. They've just started. They've got some amazing support, and they do have a pledge, and it's all about taking the fashion industry sustainable fast. And fashion is a big bad industry when it comes to carbon and saving the planet. The second one, the Million Tree Pledge by Ecology. That was our first tip. It's a 2-part commitment. 1, to pledge to plant over 1 million trees by insert date here. Most of the businesses doing it are picking 2030. So it gives you plenty of time to plant those trees. And then secondly, you also commit to find at least 2 other pledges to do the same thing to create exponential growth. And then finally, the Sustainable Marketer Manifesto, which is all about educating ourselves and using our marketer skills for good, which, I really do feel it's partly our responsibility to help consumers learn how to buy better. So I really like that last one. And then once you've signed up to the pledge that works for your business, shout about it, put the logos on your website, use it across your social media, across your email, and then live up to it. Now, closely aligned to taking the pledge is number 6. Join a community. So the pledge is your commitment to learn, and the community is going to help you accelerate your learning. There are a lot of communities popping up to help you on the journey to sustainability and net zero. I think we're going to see a lot more appear over the next few months, and by 2023, they'll probably start merging together, and some will win, some will lose, as is the game. But for now, find one that resonates with your current challenges and your business model and get involved. They are one of the best ways for learning what's happening and how to improve things, because we're really at the beginning of this journey. Often in them, you will find training sessions, you may find training courses, there are webinars, group calls and discussions, resources lists. So it's all going to save you a lot of time. And interestingly, most of these are either free or very low cost, because one of the things about the whole sustainability movement is we have to inspire others to come on the journey with us. So it's not in anyone's interest to make the walls of getting involved too high. I'm currently a member of 3, all of which I'd recommend you take a look at. Fashion Declares, which we've already mentioned, Small 99, which is purely about net zero, and Mindful Commerce, which has a wider subject area than just net zero and is purely focused on the e-commerce sector. So great information being shared in all 3 of those, all from slightly different angles. So it's worth joining and then seeing which one you feel you get the most out of. And if you find any great ones, please do let me know, as I'd love to include them in our content in the future. And we put links to all of those and all the pledges and everything else at ecmp.info/379. So that's e-commerce master plan, ecmp.info/379, the number of this episode. We are now going to hear from our lovely sponsors again, because they literally do pay for all of this. So please enjoy their adverts, and I'll be back with number 7 after this little ad break.
E-commerce Master Plan is supported by some of the greatest companies in the e-commerce sector. Here's a reminder of who they are.
Getting an online business off the ground is not easy. So if you find yourself working late, tackling a to-do list that's a mile long with your 5th cup of coffee by your side, remember, great email doesn't have to be complicated. That's what Klaviyo is for. It's the email and SMS platform built to help e-commerce brands earn more money by creating genuine customer relationships. Once you set up a free Klaviyo account, you can start sending beautiful branded messages in minutes, thanks to drag and drop design templates and built-in guidance. And with e-commerce specific recommendations and insights, you can keep growing your business as you go. Get started with a free account at klaviyo.com/masterplan. That's klaviyo.com/masterplan. Easy accounting for e-commerce is on hand. Cinder helps you track all your transactions and inventory across multiple sales channels in a click. With Cinder, you can seamlessly connect all platforms and automatically generate accurate profit and loss reports, balance sheet, and cash flow statements to find the hidden streams of income and optimize your resources. Multi-currency, discrepancy-free reconciliation, and more than 30 integrations are available, with 10-minute user-friendly onboarding and 24/7 support. As if all that wasn't incentive enough to check Cinder out, you can get a 40% off coupon and e-commerce checklist by going to cinder.me/masterplan. That's synder.me/masterplan. Okay, number 7. Now, I did promise you I was going to have a few guests. So far, we've heard from Michael. I've got another guest for you now, because it's time to talk packaging. And to do that, we're going to hear right now from Phil from PackHelp. Hello, Phil.
Hello, Chloe.
Great to have you here. Tell us about what PackHelp is and what it's going to help our audience do.
Well, PackHelp is one of the EU and UK's leading packaging suppliers for small to medium e-commerce enterprises. In a nutshell, we do custom packaging, and we do it pretty damn well, if I do say so myself. Over the last several years, we've started to realize from a business point of view and from a collective group of individuals that sustainability genuinely matters. So, like a lot of your listeners to the podcast, we are also in the transition of becoming more sustainable. And I think that's one thing that we can really resonate with in terms of your listeners, is that sustainability isn't a goal or a destination. It's a path, right? And you learn a lot of things along the way, and you have trials and errors, and that's what we're seeing too. And one of the struggles that we're seeing is that sustainability isn't black and white, you know. Sustainability is, especially in terms of packaging, there's some really, really cutting edge technology out there in terms of mushroom-based packaging and seaweed-based packaging that breaks down as soon as it gets wet. That's fantastic. That is brilliant, and that is going to revolutionize the industry. But From the point of view of a home or a Soho startup or a small, medium e-commerce brand, that is miles and miles beyond their budget right now. So one of the things that I truly believe PackHelp does incredibly well is affordable sustainability. And it's affordable sustainability that doesn't compromise. And by that, I mean, we do boxes, and we do really good boxes because they're FSC certified. So they're certified in the sense that if it is virgin paper pulp, it comes from farms that are ethically harvested and sustainably harvested and managed ethically as well. But if it's also recycled, it's certified recycled. So you can be sure that your cardboard box was a newspaper or a school book or something else in a previous life. And whether it's sustainably managed virgin material or not ethically recycled, but traceably recycled paper pulp, that keeps the supply chain or the life cycle of the pulp a lot more transparent, and you know what you're getting. And in our experience, a lot of our customers and the end customer, or the customer of our customers, they know it's not perfect. They know that sustainability is a path, and they want transparency. So we enable our customers, e-commerce brands, to say that we're not perfect, but we're transparent. Our boxes are 99.99% recycled materials. So there's a lot of options out there. We do have a lot of options ourselves, but the best option that we've got is transparency. We are brutally honest with our products, and you can pass that honesty on to your customers. And that's what customers ultimately care about, being transparent, because that enables them to make their own choice.
And Phil, retailers come to you for the affordable, sustainable, customized box option. So how can people get better boxes if they want to come over to PackHelp?
So one of the things we excel at is cost optimization. So if you're an e-commerce brand, you've obviously got some kind of, or even a retail brand, you've obviously got some kind of packaging solution right now. Our packaging engineers can look at your existing packaging and find ways to optimize it, whether that's optimizing in terms of space, in terms of sustainability, in terms of using less material. There's lots of different ways that you can save costs and save the environment through packaging optimization. In terms of customizable packaging, we also offer, I believe it's about 79 different products over various sizes, and most of those can be edited and designed online in our drag and drop online editing software. So something as simple as uploading a logo, dragging and dropping it, and you can have that printed on a elegant, fancy, full color mailer box, or something as subtle as a plain craft cardboard box with an elegant white logo. So there's lots of different options, and there's lots of different ways that you can do sustainability.
Excellent. And where do we find PackHelp?
You can find PackHelp at packhelp.com, or if you're in the UK, packhelp.co.uk.
Excellent. Thank you, Phil.
Thank you very much for having me, Chloe.
So get transparent, switch to more eco-friendly boxes. And if you use PackHelp to do it, you can also make them marvelously on brand, or maybe add your ecology carbon neutral team badge, shout about how many trees you've planted, or that you've planted a tree for their order. Number 8. Dayrise. We did a whole episode about Dayrise recently, so this may be familiar to you, but it's such a cool product, we had to include it in this episode too. Finding out how sustainable your products are, shouting about it, and then making your products more sustainable is a really important part of getting on the journey and taking your steps along the journey to net zero and becoming more sustainable. It's not quick or easy to do the whole piece, but the first step is super easy and not that expensive. Those of you who've already heard my interview with Austin from Dayrise will know that the newly launched product Dayrise, which is kind of a product sustainability analysis tool, is just ridiculously clever what they've put together. And for just £60 or $60 per product per year, you can quickly find out how sustainable your products are across their 5 sustainability criteria: climate impact, biodiversity impact, circularity, livelihoods and well-being, and purpose. They'll then give you a score, and you'll get it in a format that's super easy to add to your website, add to your marketing, shout about to your customers to help them make great buying decisions. And you'll get a report detailing how to make each of your products more sustainable. It's a really clever tool. It's going to accelerate your progress along improving your products and helping your customers make great buying decisions. It's going to accelerate it so much. I really do advise you to go and get this done for your products. You can hear all about it in episode 375. But yeah, that's our tip number 8. The easy way to find out how sustainable your products are, starting to shout about it, and then knowing how to go about making them more sustainable. Number 9, we are rattling through these. This is brilliant. Number 9 is Goodcards. Okay, so several of these tips have included ways you can increase customer acquisition through your own marketing by shouting about what you're doing. This tip is a way to put your business directly in front of other customers. Let's let Stephen from Goodcards explain their brilliant awareness building app. Hello, Stephen.
Well, hello.
Great to have you here. Tell us about Goodcards and what it does.
Absolutely. Goodcards is a community of entrepreneurs, and we're growing purpose-driven brands together. So, our tech is radically simple, but to be honest, the concept is new, and it's really, all about post-purchase cross-promotion. You're probably saying, what the heck is that? All right. So another way to think of it is that we are recycling traffic post-checkout. So if you join Goodcards, your store gets promoted by other member brands in the Goodcards network after they've made a purchase on the other person's site, and then they get exposed to you. We often talk about how with some discounts in the mix, you're reaching conscious consumers in a buying mood with their credit cards still out post-purchase. So Goodcards is a Shopify app. We have a WooCommerce plugin. We work with any e-commerce platform where you have your own domain name, right? And so that's how our network works. And it's really simple technology. You can get signed up in just minutes.
And Stephen, what makes it particularly awesome? What's it doing for your customers?
So Goodcards is free. All the coupon views on our network are free. All of the site visitors to your site are free. Even with COVID, we dropped our commission model, and we made that permanent within your primary circle. Yes, we'll have some bonus paid features, but ultimately, you're actually sharing something of value. It's you are, with our thank you banner, introducing other people to brands in our network. And so you get something back in return for that. And we often get the question, is this too good to be true? And I say it is good, and it is true. So the key is that we are cutting out Facebook, Amazon, Google, right? So instead of bidding against each other to reach new consumers, we're sharing some of that post-checkout traffic and making it into new customers for the network.
I love that, Stephen. And my eyes were on stalks when you said it's all completely free currently. How those who are listening, I guess, what's the criteria for becoming a member of your community, and how can they get involved?
So Goodcards has over 150 what we call shop for good sustainable brands in our initial circle. But we have this concept called Find Your Good. And so we, for example, have a network of Black-owned businesses. We have a network for Made in USA. We have a network for artisans. There's different ways that you can embrace that notion of good. We even have, honestly, it's a catch-all. It's called the Entrepreneur Circle, celebrating small business entrepreneurship. And in that case, we obviously vet the stores. No weapons, no alcohol, no adult mature products. We are going to try to cross-sell you, though. We're trying to promote all of our sustainable brands that also wholesale. So we do have sort of that eco-orientation where we are trying to encourage impact via the products sold, not just entrepreneurship as a whole. But we have a place pretty much for 90% of e-commerce to celebrate something through a Goodcards circle.
Excellent. And how do they get involved if they're ready Well, I don't know why they wouldn't be ready to come and join one of your circles, but how does one join one of your circles?
Well, you come to goodcards.co. And you'll see a link to our Shopify app, to our WooCommerce plugin, or information on the other platforms that we support. The key thing when you sign up is to be ready to create a discount. That's sort of the kick, the incentive, if you will, that gets a new person out there who will be willing to try you out for the first time. So that brand discovery moment when you see all these different discounts offered post-checkout, people can only pick one. And so you want to have a great product image ready, right? You got to need to figure out what your discount is. And the key tip is that make sure it's a slightly sweeter than the discount you provide for people who sign up to your email newsletter. You want to give people that incentive to buy in the next week from you and not just think, oh, I can come back anytime.
I've always thought there is so much untapped potential on order confirmation page swaps between retailers. And this tool just does it in such an elegant way because it can be, you can be advertising other brands there which have the same mindset, the same values as you. It's genius. This tool is currently only working for brands selling in dollars to the US, but they will be rolling out globally in the future. So if you're not in the US, but you are selling there in dollars, you can join up and take advantage of this now. Otherwise, keep an eye on it. We will let you know when we hear about it going more global, but it's going to be coming to a place near you soon. And it's just such a great way of leveraging all the good that you're doing to get more customers who want to tap into the good you're doing. Number 10, last but not least, and this is the most complex one we're bringing you today. What happens to your products after the customer buys them? Yes, I'm afraid you do need to start thinking about that too. Is all the carbon and resources you put into creating the product being made good use of, being made maximum use of? Well, there are a lot of startups around at the moment trying to help you do this and to help your customers extend the life of your products, which is brilliant news. Most of what's happening is in the fashion space at the moment, and we've highlighted 2 brilliant ones recently on the podcast. We've got Schwab, which is currently being rebranded as Oni, OWNI, which is a second-hand marketplace where as a retailer you supply the content and you get a commission when your customers sell on your products to someone else. How cool is that? And then New, NUW, which is a clothes swapping app using credits that has plans in the pipeline to reward brands for being involved as well. 2 very different approaches to getting fashion products to extend their lifetime and avoid going into landfill, but really interesting to see how those are going to succeed in the future. And both of them are just apps that you can build into your activity. So it's really quite a simple way of starting to tackle this. A couple of other great examples for you, slightly more complex ones that I've heard of recently. So I wanted to bring these to the table too. There are Halfords, which is a UK cycle seller, so push bikes, pedal bikes. They've recently announced they're getting into the second-hand bike market. They will be buying Halfords branded bikes back from customers, refurbishing them and putting them back on sale. And their research, which they've done with Mike Berners-Lee, who's the author of the brilliant book, How Bad Are Bananas?, which if you haven't got it, you need to get a copy of, shows that for every 100,000 used bikes sold, they could save 16,000 tons of carbon. That's amazing. Such a brilliant move. And also a lot of shoe sellers are now offering repair services for their customers. So my Wellington boots have recently gone back to Dayrise to be resold because my feet were getting wet. And our recent podcast guest, Grenson, offer this service too for resoling their products. So how can you extend the life of your products? That's it. That's our 10 simple ways for getting on the path to net zero, for improving the sustainability credentials of your business. You can find all the details of all 10 of these tips at ecmp.info/379 with all the useful links and extra info in there. Plus, we've now set up those short links for every single episode. So if you're ever listening to one of our episodes and you want to get straight onto the show notes page for the extra resources, just go to ecmp.info/episode number and you'll go straight to the relevant page. Now, do let you know how you get on with these tips we've shared with you today. Which ones do you like? Which ones do you think are harder than I suggested? Which ones were easier than I suggested? And if you've got any additional tips you'd like to share, I'd love to hear about those too. Just get in touch. You'll find out how to do that via the website. And if this episode goes down well with you and we get loads of positive feedback, we will repeat it in the future, maybe zeroing in on specific parts of the e-commerce journey. Let us know what you want us to help you with. And if you make it as far as the website, which I'm sure you will, because there's so much great info there, make sure you join our email list, because that's where I generally shout about these products and solutions and ideas as soon as I find them. So most of what I've talked about today has already been shared to those of you on the email list. So if you want to get it hot off the press, as it were, then make sure you're on our email list, and you can do that via ecmp.info/379. Thank you so much for tuning into this and every episode of the e-commerce master plan podcast. I bring you a new interview every single week because I want to inspire and help e-commerce business owners to succeed and thrive with their business, including progressing along that path to net zero. So if you know someone this show can help, please send it to them. Tell them to listen to the e-commerce master plan podcast. I hope you have an excellent week, and do not forget to keep optimizing.
Thank you for listening to the e-commerce master plan podcast. Find out more at ecommercemasterplan.com/podcast.
If you're marketing an e-commerce brand, you already know that data changes everything. More data means more power. And if your email or SMS tools can't handle all that data, they're probably holding you back. That's where Klaviyo comes in. Its top-notch personalization and segmentation help you send the right message at the right time, guided by unlimited real-time data from your online store and tech stack. Request a demo at klaviyo.com/masterplan. That's